about when you were younger, when you were a child, what were the kind of things that you were fascinated by then?
I am there is a typical entrepreneur story, and I don't follow it. I'm a space nut,
Mhm.
and I love space, and I've been in the Mars Society and those things, but I have no scientific or maths background,
Mhm.
no aptitude for that. I what's the word when you coast? I coasted through high school.
Yeah.
I got into a pretty good business and international trade degree. I dropped out after 18 months and went and sold cars. The way I got my job at My Freight was I sold a car to the guy who owned the company.
Mhm.
We got along really well. I basically, from a career point of view, I just coasted from high school, probably from 18 until essentially 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
There is no, Marshall, you've read the stories about the founders who were doing stuff as kids and they were selling stuff out of selling lemonade and whatever else. I have
Yeah.
none of those stories whatsoever. It just never occurred to me. I don't think my upbringing was entrepreneurial. My mum was a
Yeah.
nurse.
Mhm.
We lived in a very middle-class suburb where a lot of public servants, a lot of teachers. So there wasn't much of a business exposure.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably typical. I'm 45, so I think it's not atypical of people my age who grew up in middle-class Australia at the time that there wasn't necessarily an entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm.
And there's obviously differences in that. So yeah, it just and then, and it really only, even the whole My Freight thing, when we went into the software, it wasn't by design. It was essentially that the company we were using broke and we had a problem, we had to solve it. So then that prompted the entrepreneurial thinking, for want of a better term.